Hey, I'm Dr. Cody Sykes with another functional fitness tip of the day. Today's tip is to train the chains. That's right, train the chains. There are three what we call kinematic chains of the body. There's the anterior chain in the front of the body, posterior chain in the back of the body, and then the lateral chains on the side of the body. Now, what's a kinematic chain? Well, it's basically all the muscles that are involved in an activity that demand that side of the body working together across multiple joints. Okay, so if we think about the posterior chain, we think about the muscles in the back of the body. Well, of course, we have the back muscles, but we also go further down and we have the gluteus muscle, okay, gluteus maximus, medius minimus, okay, we have those muscles, hamstrings, calves, okay, all those are in the back of the body, they're the posterior chain. So if we think about, okay, if I'm going to do a rowing motion, then that's going to work those muscles in my upper back. So I'm getting part of the posterior chain, but not really the full chain. We would like to say, well, how can we get the full chain involved in this rowing motion? Well, performing it standing is one way to get a little bit more of the low back involved. Okay, because if we don't have, let's say, a chest pad like we would in a seated row movement, okay, then those low back muscles have to prevent me from falling forward. Okay, as that tubing pulls me forward, then I'm going to be able to resist against that with my low back. So that's getting more of the chain. However, if we want to even get lower in the chain and think about, well, how can we really involve those gluteal muscles and the hamstrings and the calves in that? Well, consider something like a deadlift. Okay, a deadlift is an activity in which there's a bar or there's dumbbells on the floor, and you're going to squat and lean forward, and you're going to pick up those dumbbells or that bar into a standing position. So now as you grab that bar or those weights, that upper back has to activate. Because you're leaning forward, okay, now you've got the lower back involved. You've got your gluteal muscles involved, the hamstrings and the calves. You've got almost the whole posterior chain involved in that activity. So when you train the chains, okay, you're not just thinking about a specific muscle group, okay? I'm not going to do an exercise just for the upper back, okay, to try to isolate it from the rest of the body. The truth is that we want the whole chain to be involved because, again, that's life. If I take a step forward, like in a lunge position, and reach down to pick something up off the ground and then I lift it, okay, I've worked that whole posterior chain, okay? And so we need to think about exercises that are going to train the whole chain. Think about the anterior chain, okay? If I'm doing some sort of pushing motion. Well, let's say I'm pushing a piano. I'm having to push that piano across the floor, okay, and it's heavy. Well, that's going to really challenge that anterior chain. Now, it's going to challenge some posterior chain muscles as well, but really we're going to get a lot of those muscles involved in the anterior chain. Same thing with lateral chain. How do we get all those muscles involved in a movement? Well, if I perform a side lunge and I'm reaching across my body with that side lunge with, let's say, a dumbbell in my hand, and then coming back up, I will effectively work a lot of lateral chain muscles. So we don't want to isolate muscles. We want to integrate those muscles, make them work together in a functional movement. And training the chains, those kinematic chains, is a great way to do that. And that's our functional fitness tip of the day.